In today's video, I'm going to show you the 6 most important areas that you should be aware of before making a move to Harnett County. We have not met before. My name is Matt Hyduchak and I'm a realtor here in Harnett County. Stick around to the end of the video to find out my tip on how to get the best deal in the entire county on your next home purchase. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future updates that I'll be putting out. So let me give you a quick overview of Harnett County. So Harnett County is located directly between Raleigh and Fayetteville. Now remember, the areas that I'm talking about are not necessarily the towns themselves. Out in this part of the country, what you wind up with is large zip codes. So when I refer to these town names, just know that I'm referring to the zip code itself and not necessarily the small town. Now, let's get started on the top 6 areas that you need to be aware of before making a move to the area. So first on the list is Angier. Now, Angier has benefited immensely from the growth that's gone on up in Wake County. A lot of the spillover that's come into Angier's come down from Wake County, and what a lot of people are looking at is the new construction that is all over the place around Angier. So Angier's already grown considerably over the prior decade, but there's a lot of vacant land and there's a lot of developments that are still yet to be built. There's a lot of opportunity left in Angier. As of recently, the average home price in Angier was $351,000. Now, a lot of that is going to be new construction. Most months in Angier, there's more new construction that sells than resale homes. So just know that a lot of what you will find around the Angier area has been built either brand new or within the last decade or so. So each and every year, Angier has what they call their Crepe Myrtle Festival. So if you don't know what a crepe myrtle is, it is a beautiful flowering tree that's all over the southeast here. And Angier claims to be the hometown of the crepe myrtle. And when you drive down the streets in Angier during blooming season, I don't think I've ever seen a town with more color in it. So because of that, Angier decides to have a festival each and every year for their crepe myrtle trees, and that's exactly what they do, and I think it's been running for about 50 years at this point. So from downtown Angier, you're going to be about 30 minutes into downtown Raleigh. You're going to be about 45 minutes to the RDU airport. And you're going to be anywhere from 50 minutes to an hour down to Fayetteville, depending upon traffic. Next on the list is Lillington. Now, Lillington is literally the crossroads of Harnett County. So where Highway 401, 421, and 210 intersect, that is where you will find Lillington. There's a ton of traffic that flows through Lillington, but because the way they have the roads laid out, it's not really a problem in town, but when you're passing through, if you're not watching a map, you may not even realize that you're in Lillington. So as of lately, the average home price around Lillington's about $400,000. It's a little higher than I would have thought. Like I mentioned, this area has a lot of new construction, so that's really pulling average home prices up. Now, Lillington home prices have been on the rise well before COVID. Of course, when the interest rate craziness came with COVID, Lillington took off just as much as any other town, but Lillington had been on the up and up prior to that. Little interesting fact here for you is that Lillington is the county seat of Harnett County. So this is the area that you're going to find a lot of the county service buildings, the courthouse, the sheriff's office, the public works building. A lot of that's around the Lillington area. Lillington's got a cool little downtown. There's restaurants and some attorneys' offices and a flower shop and a hair salon. A lot of it is on the outskirts. A lot of the shopping's on the outskirts of town. Downtown is just a nice little historic area, and you can go out and get something to eat, and easy parking and easy in and out of town, so that's always nice. So from Lillington up into Raleigh, it's a straight shot on Highway 401. So literally, when you leave Lillington to get into downtown Raleigh, you only have to pass through one road. So it's super convenient. For most of the way, it's at least like 4 lanes or so. So you're not going up these 2-lane country roads the whole way. From downtown Lillington, you're going to find yourself about 45 minutes from downtown Raleigh. You're going to find yourself about 50 minutes from the RDU airport. You're going to be a little closer over towards Fayetteville, just about 45 minutes from downtown Fayetteville. Next on the list is Buies Creek. Now, I don't have a lot to tell you about Buies Creek besides it is the town of Campbell University. So as of fall 2023, Campbell University had a 5,100 student enrollment. So it's quite significant, and it's definitely very significant out in this part of Harnett County. These students, their families, and all the services that are around that brings a lot of money into the county. And I know Campbell is very important to the locals, and it's a very well-revered school. Now, as far as housing goes within Buies Creek, there is some housing, but most of it's going to be focused towards student housing or faculty or specialty stuff like that. There's not a heck of a lot of single-family residential in the area, so most people are going to find themselves looking at these other towns that I'm going over here. Lillington's only about 10-minute drive from Buies Creek, so a lot of people live in Lillington and commute over to Buies Creek for the university. So from downtown Raleigh to Buies Creek is going to be about 45 minutes. Like I mentioned, it's only about 10 minutes over to Lillington, and it's going to be about 45 minutes down to Fayetteville. Next on the list is Coates, the small town of Coates. So Coates, once again, is a crossroad town. It's at the crossroads of NC 27 and NC 55. It's a very small town, and it still definitely has that small southern town feel to it. There's still some manufacturing around, but truth be told, most people in Coates are going to be commuting either up to the Raleigh area or down to the Fayetteville area. Average home price as of lately is $286,000 around the Coates area. So right along with Lillington, Coates has been on the rise prior to COVID. Obviously it went nuts during COVID, and things have mostly moderated out in the area at this point. But just know, Coates isn't one of those flash towns that just showed up. It's been steadily growing for a while, and the population's been increasing right along with it. Now, as far as town goes, besides some small restaurants, pizza shops, a Dollar General, town hall, a library, there's not a heck of a lot in town. So for most stuff, you're going to find yourself either heading over to Lillington or in the other direction over to Dunn for most of your larger shopping. There is a grocery store in town, so that's helpful. But like I said, if you're looking for the big box stores, you're going to have to head out of town. So from Coates, you're going to be about 45 minutes from downtown Raleigh. You're going to be about 50 to 55 minutes over to RDU Airport. It's only about 40 minutes down to Fayetteville, so a little bit closer to the Fayetteville side than some of the Raleigh destinations for Coates. Next on the list is Erwin. I always refer to Erwin as the little sister town of Dunn. I don't actually think it's called that. I think I'm the only one who calls it that, but they're right next to each other. Erwin's smaller than Dunn, so I always called it the little sister city. So nice thing about Erwin is on the other side of Dunn, you have access to I-95. So if you're commuting up and down the East Coast, you can get on the highway pretty quick. There's not a lot of playing around to start your So Erwin is a very small town. Used to be a manufacturing town. A lot of that's closed down now. So the economic development around Erwin is a little lagging behind some of the other areas in Harnett County. But as the northern cities start to increase in price, we're going to see more and more people head to these small towns like Erwin. So it really is a great little town, but it's very rural. So just know that. There's no nightlife there. There's not a ton of shopping. You're going to have to go to other areas for that. Great town to live in, not so much if you're looking for a bar hopping scene. So as of this year, average home price around Erwin was $257,000, so that's consistent with the rest of the county. Now, Erwin has seen some big advances in their home prices over the last 5 years. So in mid-2019, the average home price in Erwin was just $109,000. So clearly, Erwin has been upwards and to the right. Now, Erwin doesn't have as much new construction as some of the other towns around Harnett County do, but you will find some new construction in the area, and there's definitely some opportunity if that's what you're looking for. So originally, like I mentioned before, Erwin was a manufacturing town. So Erwin was first known as the town of Duke, named after the Duke family. And the reason they named the town after the Duke family is because they had opened a cotton mill in town. And just like all the other namesakes around here, the Duke family got the recognition for it. And it's the founding origins of Erwin, North Carolina. Other interesting fact is that Erwin is a Civil War activity area, so just a couple miles from town you can go and visit a Civil War battleground if you're into that sort of thing. So Erwin's a little bit further out there. You're going to be about 50 minutes to downtown Raleigh. You're going to be about 60 minutes over to RDU Airport. And you're going to be about 30 minutes to downtown Fayetteville. So last but certainly not least is Dunn. The reason that I say certainly not least is because Dunn is the most populous town in all of Harnett County. The downtown of Dunn is definitely a little more well developed than some of the other small towns. There's a lot more services and restaurants and businesses. Downtown Dunn is super cool. You should definitely check it out if you're over in that area. Great little town to walk. So big benefit for Dunn is that it neighbors I-95. Now, obviously, having a major interstate next to you brings in a lot of out-of-area traffic. And out in that area, you're going to find a lot of distribution center stuff, a lot on the heavy diesel mechanic side of things. And the other cool thing is just along the highway outside of town is a large Copart auto auction. And once again, just because where that's placed along the highway there, it makes distributing these cars up and down the East Coast really convenient. So Dunn is an older town. A lot of the home stock that you find around is going to be built in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. The traditional style around Dunn is a one-story ranch, brick house, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, nothing fancy, but they're very well built and there's a ton of them. And when you drive around Dunn, that is hands down the most common style that you're going to see out around here. So average home price as of this year in Dunn was just over $250,000. So Dunn has always had a relatively strong housing market. As you can see from the chart here, it was marching upwards well before COVID came in, and obviously since COVID, it has just gone straight up and to the right. Dunn's about 40 minutes to downtown Raleigh. It's about 60 minutes over to RDU Airport. And it's about 25 minutes down to Fayetteville. So really great location on this. And Dunn is one of those towns that you definitely should not overlook if you're thinking about Harnett County. Now, what everybody's been waiting for, how to get a deal in Harnett County. So here's what I want to make you aware of. In Harnett County right now, the move-in ready, median priced home is still selling very quickly. So if you're looking for what everybody else is looking for, just know that in Harnett County, you still may have some competition. If you're looking for opportunity, what you should be looking at is either the fixer-upper side of the market or the new construction side of the market. Now, the reason that I say that is because there's not many people looking for fixer-uppers, and there is a lot of them around Harnett County. They're well-built houses, but they just need to be modernized and updated. On the other side, the new construction, builders have been going crazy in Harnett County over the last couple years, and there are more developments than I can keep track of. Right now, because of market conditions, the builders are offering a lot of incentives to buyers. So those are bought down mortgages and upgrades and all kinds of things. So if you look on those extreme ends of the market, that's where the least amount of competition is going to be, and that's where you have the highest likelihood of being able to score a real deal on your next house. A lot of people don't realize the strong military connections around Harnett County. Obviously, we have Fort Liberty to the south, which was once known as Fort Bragg. You're going to find a lot of military-themed businesses and events around the Harnett County area, and the reason for that is because a lot of the population is either veterans or the family of veterans. So there's definitely a deep, deep connection to the military roots around Harnett County. So in conclusion, if you're looking for an area that gives you access to both Raleigh and Fayetteville, you should definitely be taking a look at Harnett County. So Harnett County is very rural overall. Like I mentioned, if you're looking for nightlife and high-end restaurants and shopping, Harnett County may not be the place for you. But if you're willing to trade off that commute up into Raleigh for a significantly lower cost of living, Harnett County may be a very good option for you and your family. When you're ready to make your dream a reality, please schedule a time using a link in the description, and we will get you started on the home buying journey the right way. If you liked this video, you should definitely check out this one too. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos that I release.